Hey everybody, welcome to another Tanks replay. This one is once again in the Bulldog on Kharkov, this time from the opposite spawn, from the east side of the map. But I'm going to play it more or less the same as the last match, try and get into the southeastern corner of Dzerzhinsky Square and then work on anything that comes into it. Hopefully picking up some spotting, mostly angling to get some damage in on medium tanks, particularly since the enemy mediums in this match are quite poorly armoured. And then once this area is dealt with, I was hoping to move out into the more built-up area of the city. Straight away we've spotted an MT-25 and an Easy 8. Now the Easy 8 is the biggest threat of the two, so I'd like to handle him first. The Bulldog's gun has no problem whatsoever with Easy 8s, and its very, very high shell velocity from the LBCR rounds means that I can quite happily just auto-aim him and hit him on the move. There's also an STA-1 there. Now the STA-1 does have a gun that's very dangerous to light tanks. He can knock off about a quarter of my hit points in a single hit. However, he also has very, very poor armor, and so I can easily pen him as well. It's just a case of trying not to get hit by that gun in the process.
Target acquired.
I can't stay focused on the mediums for too long though, because this MT-25 in front of me, could actually push on me. He does have much less in the way of hit points than me, obviously being a tier lower. I don't know what gun he has. I would expect the 57 because that's what most people run, but occasionally you will run someone who runs the comedy autocannon. In any case, my gun should be a little more effective at killing him than his is at killing me. And so after popping out to take a couple quick shots at the STA, I decide to get up close and personal with him. I have to be careful crossing these gaps though, because the STA's 90mm gun is a real serious threat. Now this was a bit of a calculated risk here. I knew I was going to lose a lot of hit points in this fight. I also knew that potentially I could get ammo racked. The Bulldog gets racked very easily, particularly from the front. But I was able to knock him down first, and it was a simple matter of having more hit points to play with than he did. Simple on-the-fly arithmetic that you will have to use quite a lot in this game. So I do get a shot into the STA, but I sit in the open for too long. I thought he was aiming at the IS-6. Turns out he was actually aiming at me, and I'm now down to 106 hit points, which is not going to help me survive basically anything that the enemy still have. The STA does go down, and we have now cleared the southeastern part of the map, but our team is spread from arsehole to breakfast, and the enemy have pushed in almost into our cap. Now I do have an opportunity to get side and rear shots into these guys as they cross the street, which is something I will gladly go about doing. The more health I can knock off of them now, the less I have to worry about later. But if we look at the mini-map, we have a pair of IS-6s. They're actually platooned, pushed all the way in on the J-line, in J4, pushing on the enemy arty, while the enemy have basically the remainder of their team either in our base or pushing towards our base, and we have nothing left to defend it. I scoot back to try and get shots in here and basically just hold these guys up as long as I can. I didn't really expect to win at this point, because looking at where those IS-6s are, they're totally out of position. They're not going to contribute anything at all to this match. There's nothing even there for them to shoot at. The enemy arty is run. Now, I was hoping to get a shot into the Tiger 2 there. Unfortunately, my shot went wide, and what could have potentially killed him, well, not killed him, but knocked him half of the hit points he's got there, missed him completely, and my next shot didn't pen. Tiger 2's got their cupola buffed quite a long time ago, about 2 or 3 years ago, and they're now very, very difficult to penetrate from the front. So if you don't have a shot at the lower plate, you're going to have a very hard time. There's no point engaging that shit frontally, so I push back towards the square, carelessly drive into a wall, and things are starting to look very bad here. We do still have those two IS-6s, but they're moving very slowly along the longest possible route into the bulk of the enemy team, while the enemy are about to be on our cap. KV-3's distracted. I get a couple quick shots into him. He has a 107mm gun, which is more than enough to finish me off at this point, and so I duck away into cover. There is still an IS-3 coming this way, and the KV-3 of course, so I have to run back towards our own base and hope for the best, but it doesn't happen. The KV-3 finishes me with that 107, And we're now being capped out with 2 enemies on cap. That means it's only a matter of seconds until the game is over, and our 2 IS-6s are still pushing. Well, actually, one of the IS-6s is pushing north, the other one is hiding as hard as he possibly can in E3. So, what could have been an easily winnable game was in fact turned into a loss by these two, who did absolutely nothing whatsoever the course of the entire game. All they did was just push through areas that had already been cleared by teammates, and then chase after Artie. The IS-6 is a fantastic tank for padding your stats, since it gets preferential matchmaking, has very good armor for its tier, and quite a powerful gun. However, you will not get a good win rate by playing like those two. It's just absolutely incredible. They must have had their minimaps turned off or something, because I refuse to believe that anybody could be that dense. In any case, once again, I end with around 2,000 damage on this map as a light tank, while the heavies quite happily throw the game away. Moral of the story, this is why I don't play light tanks. They are fun to play, you can definitely do a lot of work in them if you get the right setup, but you just cannot carry some teams because you don't have the hit points to do it. And in many cases you don't even have the ammunition to do it, because it takes so many shots to take down heavy tanks in these things. So really, I mean, this is mostly why I stick to mediums, because a lot of the time I do find myself in situations like this where if I'm in a heavy, I don't have the speed to get back and shore up a failing flank, and if I'm in a light, I don't have the hit points and ammo to do it. So mediums are the best all-round carrying tanks in the game, I would say, particularly ones like the E50M that are kind of like pocket heavies, just because of that mobility. They've got decent enough armor, they've got decent enough guns. All you need is a good medium tank to be able to carry a game. Whereas this, there's really not much more I could have done here. Maybe if I'd avoided trading hits 1-for-1 with the MT25, I could have survived another shot, but I mean the 107 on the KV3 does 300 alpha, so honestly, there's not much chance I would have survived much longer anyway. But it is what it is. I still didn't pick up Light Tank 15 on this mission, of course, so I'm still doomed to repeat this until I get it done. But I don't know, just if you take anything away from this video, turn your fucking minimap on, pay attention to what's going on, and do not be that guy. Do not do what these 2 IS-6s did. It's just unbelievable. While the rest of the team was fighting desperately around our base, they just fucked off to chase a single arty piece in their 2 top-tier heavy tanks. It's just unreal. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video more than I enjoyed the outcome of this match, and as ever, I'll see you on the next one.